Good morning, Mr. Salahdine. Nice
Good
to see you
morning,
again.
Sheikh.
Good morning. So, how are you doing? So, what time is it
Fine,
there
fine.
in Canada?
Please.
What time is it?
What time is it? It is 10 to 7
Okay, so 7 o'clock in the morning.
in the morning.
So, good morning to you. Thank you. So, let me do some quick. We are running late by 15 minutes, so you can take time accordingly.
Okay.
So, I would like to welcome Mr. Salahdine Ourzik. The topic we are talking is business transformation. Is your organization really ready? So this is the topic we can hear from Salahdin. Salahdin is a recognized strategy, change and transformation expert with over 30 years of experience across public and private sectors. He has led major organizational transformations, strategy planning initiatives, and capital building programs in sectors like telecom, energy, banking, government, spanning in Africa and the Middle East, Europe, and North America. So he is a founder of Gulfstream Management Consulting, specialized in integrating strategy execution with culture and political realities to drive sustainable change. So thank you, sir. Thank you for joining the session today. So hope you can enjoy. Okay.
Thank you, Sheikh, for this
So
presentation.
there is some complexity in sharing the screen. Just
Let's try. I will click on share screen.
so you keep the presentation open. Okay. So you
Yeah,
keep
it's
the
open.
presentation open before you share. If you can make it in
So,
a PowerPoint presentation mode, it is much better actually. Actually, if you have a multiple windows open, it will not also create. So when you share, you did you keep the presentation open?
yeah, the presentation is open, but the sharing is not working.
So did you click the share button?
Yeah, I click on it.
What do you see?
It's not active.
Is not active.
Yeah.
Mhm. Are you in Windows or Mac?
Mac.
Okay.
It looks like frozen, unable to share the screen.
So you
Screen is not allowed. Sharing screen is not allowed.
no, it will allow, but only thing is
This
it
is
is
the message.
yeah, we got the same message, but if you have any other windows open, it was giving a problem. Yeah. So you want
Another
us to
window.
share? Mm-hmm. Praveen, can you if you want to share, you can share.
Host.
And then
Yeah, yeah, sure.
yeah, put it in the presentation mode
Okay.
and Salahdin can speak and just say next. The next slide will be presented.
Can you can you display it? You have the
Yeah,
copy
we'll
of
display.
my part.
We'll display,
Very
but
good.
just when you want to say next, just say next. He will change slide.
Thank you very much.
Okay. You can see the slide. Sure. What happened? Praveen? Yeah.
Can you enlarge the screen?
Yeah, it is full screen. Because you are presenting it, you will see that because you have Windows also. You have a speaker also. Yeah, you can start. It is for the viewers.
Okay, okay. Let's go. So first of all, hello for everyone, and thank you for being here. We are about to dive in the fascinating organizational world of change and business transformation. Nowadays, it's something continuous. Organizations are confronted to changes that oblige them to transform or to improve continuously. And but when we talk about change and business transformation, being able to make the difference, to understand the difference between these two concepts can make all the difference, success or failure, especially when it comes to assessing the readiness of the organization uh, to check if it is truly ready for a business transformation or not. Mhm. According to Forbes study, among 10 good strategies, 9 fail because of the execution. That's why one of the key reasons Kaplan and Norton came up with the strategy execution premium process. That is the cornerstone of the balanced scorecard method. But there is another something else very important that research and practice taught us. A lot of organizations mix up change and transformation when they are evaluating their readiness for a big shift. And this confusion can be a major obstacle to the effectiveness while they are assessing themselves or their readiness. So let's talk about some aspects to differentiate between the two concepts, and further we will talk about how the organizations can better prepare for themselves for a real transformation. Next. So we will go through different steps. Mhm. We will introduce the concept of transformation and change, illustrate with some examples what is the difference between these two, the importance, and to highlight the importance of organizational readiness assessment. We are talking about when the organization is thinking to go for transformation and has to assess if it has the capabilities to do it before going through the process of strategic planning. So we will see some statistics or some hard facts that confirm, explain, or confirm that it's very important for the organization to assess in the right way its readiness. And having that in mind, we will introduce a framework for an effective organizational readiness assessment. And next, please. Next, so understanding the difference between change and business transformation is very important, as I said. But when you are preparing yourself to go for a big shift, but these two concepts are very often misunderstood. This confusion is very common. It's very common because of people don't know, or in some cases, people know that they are facing a transformation, they are going ahead for a business transformation. It's labeled business transformation, but in reality, they don't have the capacity to do that. And they go through what they know, change, continuous improvement, or change for changing what they are doing or already in a better way. Below, we'll see the change versus the transformation differences, and we will go progressively to introduce the framework for the assessment. Next. So, at high level, typically change refers to modifications in processes, in systems, in practices, and the focus or the scope is limited to a department, for example, or an area introducing a new application, IT application, or changing some key processes, but it's limited in the scope, and it's about improving what we have already, what we are already doing. Uh, it can be, it's not fundamentally change anything in the identity of the organization itself, or it's not modifying or changing anything in the to the business model. In reality, change is about changing what we are doing, producing faster, with lower cost, better quality, shorter time to deliver, to lower the cost, production cost, with a better quality. And many organizations uh, don't do more. They focus on their operations. Okay, till in this, if the sector, if they saturate all the improvements in the operations and so on, and it's a sectorial problem, then they will go for more strategic things like business transformation to make the difference, because the improvement in the operations, for example, don't bring any differentiation in terms of competitiveness. Everybody is adopting the same applications, the same approaches for production or customers experience. When it comes time to be more strategic, they have to transform their business, and this involves significant shifts in how the organization as a whole, not the department or sections or divisions. Hello. Yeah. Hello. Can you share the screen, please? Hello. Yeah, go back, please. Can you go back? Hello. Yes. So it's about business, changing the business model. It requires the change of business culture that is very strategic, and potentially it touches the digital capabilities. For example, when a multinational is talking about the concept of one company, it means that the digital environment has to be completely transformed. This may include adopting the new technologies, entering the new markets, redefining customer relations. Next. Next. Hello. So this slide is just to illustrate the difference. In the left side, you have a snake, and as you know, snakes, when they grow, they change their skin to be able to continue to grow. And the images that was mentioned before shows that the snake changes his scheme to be able to grow, but it's still the same snake, stronger, maybe faster, with more skills, maturity, and so on. But it's still a snake and the same snake. In the other side, when the worm becomes a butterfly, that is a real transformation. So when you an organization want to go for transformation, it's crucial to conduct a real an effective assessment. If the assessment is not done well, the organizational assessment is not done well, you can have a mismatches that lead for failure. Mismatch in the capabilities. You have capabilities to conduct a change because you will change what you know already. You have the capabilities and experience for that. You will just improve to be faster, less cost, and so on. Your employees or the human resources or the stakeholders will resist as usual, but it's less complex than in transformation. If you go for business transformation, the resistance can be more complex than for change. In effective communication, the way of communicating about the change is different from the way of communicating about the transformation, for all the stages of the transformation that needs to talk about a wider scope, involving wider bigger number of stakeholders, differences in interest, and so on. For change is very simple, let's say, relatively simple. Inadequate leadership involvement, the, invo- the involvement required for transformation is much higher for the leadership. They have to be present to communicate continuously, to who will communicate about what, how to evaluate the impact of these communications, if it was effective or not, and the scope also is wider, and the time to complete the transformation is longer than change that can take 1 year, 2 years maximum. Next. Ultimately, successful transformation requires strategic planning for sure, but also needs some deep understanding of the organizational environment, what is happening around the organization in the ecosystem of your business. What are the trends? What are the as it's explained? It has been explained by my colleagues before. During, for strategic planning itself. And all this information about the environment is very important. It's very important to understand it, to interpret it, and to define actions based on that for the organization. It's important also to have readiness for change, to have some capabilities for change management and to have a strategy for change, capabilities to conduct the business transformation. We can have capabilities to conduct a change project or change program and have some lack of some capabilities that are required for business transformation because the experience is new, what we target is new or completely different. So if we don't take care of this to understand what we have, what we are exactly before going for a business transformation, we can face a lot of difficulties and do a good, develop a good strategy in itself. From logical point of view, it's strong, but based on wrong inputs from about the readiness of the organization. Next. Next. So again, some if you do this confusion between the two concepts, if we taking a change for transformation, we can overestimate and overcomplicate things to be done, like killing a fly with cannonball. Heavy and costly evaluation can be done while it's not necessary to do so deep and so wide in our evaluation and methods that we use. Excessive bureaucratic complexity to manage the change. If we confuse that with transformation, the bureaucracy can be these are the governance can seem loaded and more over very complex for regarding what is required. Okay, and all this will slow down the execution and the achievement. And if it's the case, we can lose the focus and see that our resources are demobilized, because there is no adequation between what we are doing and the way we are doing it. We are doing something that is change, and we are using the approach and the tools and the methods of transformation. All this will demobilize people. It will be costly for nothing. If we are taking a transformation for a simple change, then here the risk and the danger is to underestimate everything. Underestimate the efforts that are required. Underestimate the level of disruption that we want to bring to our business. The resistance, yes, maybe people will, we will think that people will need only some training to be realigned in terms of competencies or skills that are required, while some capabilities and skills we don't have them, and they are difficult to get from the market. It needs time to develop them. At the same time, we can set in place a governance system for the program that is light, adequate. It's good for change, but for transformation, because of the scope and the multi layers and the number of stakeholders that are involved or concerned, the governance system and the performance system that we have in place is not sufficient, and this also can lead for a strategic failure. The strategy is good, but the input to that were wrong at the beginning about the readiness of the organization. Next. So this confusion, as I told you at the beginning, is very important. Very often the organizations mixed up between transformation and change. That is very dangerous at the beginning, because all what the findings of the assessment of the actual of the readiness are should, if they are well done, they leverage the strategic planning with the 4 perspectives for balanced scorecard. But the context, the input, the capacity of the organization are not well assessed. So the strategy is based on wrong inputs. McKinsey and Company report, according to a study they have done, 70% of large-scale initiatives fail to achieve their goals. 70% of large-scale change initiatives fail to achieve their goals due to resistance from employees and lack of support from leadership. And they suggest in their study that a significant gap in organizational readiness for transformation. This indicates for them, as conclusion, a gap in organizational readiness for transformation. So maybe they were ready for change, big change, because managing change is very important also, but they were not ready for a big shift like business transformation. In the other side, for Gartner study, around 54% of companies surveyed have experienced failure in their transformation efforts. The study cited a lack of readiness assessment. And the Kaplan and Norton Institute indicated that 60% of initiatives failed due to lack of alignment to organizational strategy and readiness. Readiness is the key word. The organizational readiness is the key word. When the assessment is done, the readiness assessment is done, depending on what is the target we are going for transformation or for change, the methods, the deepness, the wideness of the analysis, even if they seem the same, but the scope is not the same, the deepness is not the same, the complexity of the methodology or the methods that are used, the complexity of the efforts of integrating every aspect and so on are not the same. So if we prepare for change while we are going for a transformation, we can have the best strategy from logical point of view, but we've built on wrong assumptions and the wrong inputs about what we are able to do. It's better to not go for transformation and to prepare more, take more time to prepare for that. The ProSci change management, it's a reference in terms of change management. They stress also all the time in all their findings, because they do continuous research, the importance of assessing organizational readiness. Are we ready for what we want to do or not? And the distinction between change and transformation is crucial. Next. So it is necessary to institutionalize the organizational readiness assessment in your organization. It has to be something continue. It's a process supported by methods, by tools, and policy to be able to continuously know where we are, what are our weaknesses, what are our strengths, ready to adapt. Are we ready to adapt to any disruption or change in the environment? To understand in continuous way what are our weaknesses and strengths, we confront that to the signals that we have from the environment, the signals that are strong trends or weak trends, and it helps to adapt to change, and to have some the necessary organizational agility to anticipate, to be proactive, and to eventually to react in by um, being able to rapidly replan and execute to adapt to the environmental changes. And to prevent, it's important to prevent transformation failures, because when we decide to go for transformation, it's not just a luxury, because we like to have challenges. Many times it's results, the decision results from three threats from the environment, or opportunities that we have to capture or to catch as soon as possible. If not, we will be away from with our competitiveness in the market. Next. So these having all this in our minds, and having knowing that it's necessary, it's to institutionalize this organizational organizational readiness assessment in any organization, to be ready to adapt and so on. And the institutionalization means adopting a framework that we test and improve on regular basis. Let's focus. Let's introduce a framework that can be institutionalized in your organization, and this framework is focusing mainly on for the readiness assessment, focusing mainly on four capabilities through that are approached, analyzed through three perspectives. The four capabilities, and we will go through that in more details. Sense making, to make sense to the organization, to make sense to people, to make sense to the teams, different teams in the organization. When you make, it's an important element in the practice of leadership. If you don't make sense to people, you cannot mobilize them. They cannot take initiatives. They cannot experience things, innovate. If you make sense for them, they can take these initiatives. And to make sense for the organization depend also on how you can capture the information around you, translate it in something making sense for the organization, to be translated in actionable elements. Visioning, as you know, it's one of the main factors to make sense to people, to give them the true north direction. They know all collectively where they are going. Relating is the capacity, the capability to build strong relationship and sustainable relationships, external relationships, internal relationships, interpersonal relationships. All uh, uh, this capability fosters the collaboration, fosters the capacity to go from doer to enabler, to make people do what is required for to achieve the common goals. To have to be able to do some advocacy of the vision itself, to mobilize people. inventing the capacity of the organization to reinvent, to invent, to innovate in its processes, and, to find, to solve problems and to find new solutions, or to prepare for new to make some decisions. This capacity of inventing uh, is very important if you go for change or for your transformation, and particularly for transformation. And all these capabilities have to be analyzed through three perspectives. Strategic design, are we able to, that is oriented analysis, the environment, the capacity, internal capacity, the fit of the organization to achieve its goals. Political aspects, that's related to the power in the organization, formal one, informal one, what are the conflicts of interest, and so on. And then the culture. The culture is something strategic, and it cannot be changed like acquiring a new tool or new process, or it takes time. But if we don't tackle the uh, uh, cultural transformation that is required to align on the new business model, for example, so it will not work, and it will hinder the results of our efforts in transforming ourselves. Next. Effective leadership transfer require balance between these four capabilities: sense making, visioning, relating, and inventing. So you have in your organization to reflect on individual and organizational capabilities. Do we have these capabilities? At which, where they are at level of individuals or departments. Go to the slide before, please. Hello. So sense making, the organization has to have. So go for the next now. The organization is an open system. It's an open system. It means that it's open in it's working in an ecosystem, an environment that is impacting its functioning, internal decisions, and the organization itself can influence this environment by being proactive and maybe influencing some trends and some adoption of standards at the international level, or some legal aspects in relation with the environment. So the organization is influenced as open system is influenced by its environment, impacted by its environment, and the reverse also. It can be it can impact the environment by taking some actions that are in favor of their efficiency and effectiveness. Next. So sense making, the organization, in order to do that, the organization has to be aware about what is happening around. It has to have a kind of radar to scan the environment in a continuous way and to capture the information, signals, weak, strong, from the environment in terms of trends, what will happen, what is the image of the organization in its ecosystem, and so on, and to be able to translate that to transform this data in information that can be comprehensible inside the organization, and to translate that in actionable elements for the organization to be able to make decisions, to adapt, to anticipate these changes. If this radar and this capability to make sense of what is happening in the environment, and also what is happening in the organization in consequence, and to translate that in actionable elements to make decision and to adjust, to adapt. This capability is very, very important. If not, many organizations were not able to anticipate because they don't read. They were not capable to read the environment. The example of a company who was the leader in manufacturing glasses, content of glass used by chemical laboratories, biological research, and so on. And they were the leaders, and their financial results were good. Everything was, all financial indicators were good. And next, 1 year after, they went on bankruptcy because they were not able to, they have not catched up that there is a substitutable product to them, a new product disrupting their production, new product made from plastic that is doing the same thing than satisfying the requirement of the same laboratories and are using the content in glass. They were not able to see that, and they were convinced that they have to continue because there were financial indicators and so on, and they went completely in bankruptcy in 1 year. They were the leader of the market, and they were out 1 year after because it was the change was fast. The disruption was very fast. Next. So from this sense of making, as I told you, they have to make that comprehensible and actionable for the organization. And they have to map things, map the stakeholders, map the forces in the market, map their objectives or goals to make things comprehensible for everybody in the organization. Next.
You need to speed up a little, Salahdine. Please mind the time. Yeah, you need to speed it up a little so that we.
Yeah. Sense making also, as I told you, you have to have to be connected to your environment, to know exactly what is the present of your business, while you are thinking also to the future, in the same time, what we call the two speeds organization. You have to get rid of the past, things that are not working anymore, paradigms that you have to uh, to let go, keep some from the past that is still useful because you have to continue the business, and in the same time you have uh, to think to the future. See, this two speeds organization is very important if you want to make sense continuously to your organization and to your people to not be disrupted. Next. And all this has to be mapped, clearly done, clearly presented to people in a very comprehensible way so they can navigate. If when you make sense to people, for people, they know you foster their autonomy, their reactivity, their local capacity to make adjustments and decisions to adapt. They are they can anticipate and take initiatives in terms of innovating, testing new things. Because they have sense in there, because there is a vision, there is a plan, strategic objectives are mapped. Everyone knows what is his contribution for the all, and everyone is enough autonomy in his area to make decisions and to adapt continuously and to develop his capacity and capabilities to thrive. Next. And this making sense is a process that you have to assess. Do you have it or not? And if you have it, what is your policy in this domain? Are you continuously learning, improving this sense making among your leadership, your managers, your organization? So you have to think about who have these capabilities in your organization. These capabilities are enough, sufficient or not. If you have weaknesses, how to compensate these weaknesses by hiring, by getting external support, or by buying some tools or methods. So it's a continuous uh, process in the organization, and you have to assess that. Do you have it? If you have it, you have the complete competencies. What are the gaps? And you have to complete the gaps before going for transformation. Next. For visioning, everybody knows what is vision, that is required to have a vision. And it's one of the most important, the cornerstones of making sense for people. It's not enough to have the vision to make sense to people, because you need some communications, explanations, and so on to mobilize people. So these two capabilities complete each other. Making vision is the capacity also to capability of advocacy of your vision internally and in relation with external stakeholders. Next. The key elements of the vision, as everybody knows, but we have to know it when we are assessing our readiness, where we are headed, why does it matter, and based on that we have to motivate people, to energize them to pursue the vision. Do you have this capability to do that and to to explain in a complete way and to mobilize people through a strategic communication plan that is convincing, through stories and imagery and the maps that we create. All this has uh, to uh, to exist in terms of capabilities within the organization again. And if we have gaps in that, let's build close these gaps before going for a real transformation. Next. The power of vision, there is an image here. First, I am laying bricks. Second, I am building the wall with the bricks. And the third, I am building a cathedral. This is the ultimate image that we have to build in the mind of people in terms of vision. So even if I am laying bricks, I know that I am laying bricks to build, and we are building cathedral. If I am building a wall, a simple wall, I know that this wall is contributing to building the cathedral. And the power of the vision is very important, but it has to be supported by communication and capabilities of advocacy. If you don't have these capabilities, it will be difficult to mobilize people for the to achieve the vision. Next. And we have to check for when we talk about vision, we have to check and to assess the strength of this our visioning. The strengths have to be assessed from three perspectives, or from three factors. The visionary leader capabilities. Do we think that the leader has capability, or leadership has capabilities to envision? If we don't trust that, if this the actual leadership and managers leadership is not really capable to envision, to develop a vision, and to conduct, to achieve potentially the vision, there is a problem, because the vision is not a dream only. It's something quantifiable that has to be achieved. If it's the case, yes. Does this leadership have the management team that has the capabilities to achieve this vision? And also you have the factor of the market, because what we do is in relation with a market where we have to deliver value and so on. The market also, this factor has to be assessed to complete the assessment of the capabilities of envisioning and developing a vision. We have to consider these three parameters. Next. Relating is an interpersonal skills, the ability to create links, getting things done through other people, understanding the network. These capabilities does not exist in every person first, manager or leader, and also in the organization itself, depending on its business culture. Are we able to build sustainable relations through relating activities within the organization and in relation with the external stakeholders? Next. Next. So the characteristic of relating, uh, it has multiple layers, multiple horizons. My group relating internally in my group, relating my group with other groups in the organization, our organization as whole. The relating is about the organization itself in relation with its ecosystem, external stakeholders, partners, customers, um, suppliers, and political, eventually political bodies, financial bodies, and the world life. All this is concerned by this capability to relate, to communicate, to uh, it's not a, a competency that we find everywhere, and we have to, and it's crucial for the going for a transformation to mobilize people to communicate, to enable, to build trust and motivation and so on. If you don't have this capacity, and our leadership doesn't have it, or managers don't have it, it has to. It's we have to identify this gap and to do something to develop it. Next. If we have clumsy relationships, limited contacts, the making sense will be poor. You have the interactions between relating, making sense, and envisioning. If we are not able to build relationships, to be informed, to inform, to share, to get feedbacks, and so on, because we are limited in our contacts, we didn't have this capability in our business culture. Also, we can have problems in making sense to people, making sense from the environment, making sense to people, and communicating with people to mobilize them. Next, the Mintzberg is talking about 80% of their time of executives. 80% of their work day should be spent in relating. Uh, the principle, the concept is management by walking around, meeting people, talking to people, going around in the organization and listening, getting feedbacks, communicating, motivating, being visible permanently and communicating permanently. For Mintzberg, 80% of the time of workday has to be uh, done for in relating activities. Next. Inventing is the capacity of the organization to build new, to innovate, to experiment, the capacity of problem solving, the capacity of using, developing new methodologies or adopting new methodologies and tools, and to develop their abilities based on new knowledge that they are acquiring, to be able to plan, to replan, if in case of change in the environment, to execute rapidly. Next. And the organizational culture, do they encourage the innovation or not? Do they encourage test testing new things and tolerating some failures to reinvent the way of the practices, the products, to reinvent the new ways of doing the business. Next. But inventing is about big innovations and also small improvements, but continuous improvement in the organization. All this contributes to confirms the capacity of the organization, capability of the organization to adapt to the new challenges that will result from business transformation. Next. Next. Again, the two-speed organization. Get rid of the past, analyze the past, last 5 years, get rid of paradigms that are not working anymore, practices that are obsolete, tools that are obsolete, focus on the present to continue the business, and invest in the future. It's what we call ambidextrous organizations. Next. Next, please.
Ravin, next. Ravin, can you hear us?
Next. So understand there are three perspectives through which all these capabilities have to be analyzed. Like we can do analogy with the perspective in balance and scorecard, here for the back. The concept of perspective. Let's see one image, and it will be seen in by different persons in different ways and interpreted in different ways. But it's important in the analysis to foster the inclusion and diversity in terms of experience, in terms of competencies, and so on. Like this small pig, if it's from the perspective of butcher or farmer, it's a good and a nice animal. It has been well nourished and they have taken care of it at the farm. And the butcher sees from his perspective what are the nice pieces of meat he will sell. The veterinarian, his perspective, will see, he is in good health and he is okay. Vegetarians, now why we are eating meat, it's bad, and so on. Muslims and Jewish don't eat pork, don't touch pork. And so different perspectives bring different dimensions, and it enriches this diversity from perspectives, enrich the decision making, and so on. Next. So the context of analyzing the organizational culture and its capabilities, the three perspectives as illustrated, typically considered are the artifacts. When we are analyzing these four capabilities, what is visible, the exposed values and principles and norms in the organization is the intention, and underlying assumptions that is not visible, and they are not visible, they're not formal in many cases, and they are driving the behaviors of people. We have to understand, to catch up all these three dimensions, to understand that, to analyze things in terms of capabilities for our readiness. Next. When you are analyzing these four capabilities, the three perspectives together provide a comprehensive understanding of organizational culture. What you see, the artifacts, what is visible in terms of procedures, organizational structure, uh, politics, policies, and so on. This you can see them. You can see the behavior of people also. You can see if there are gaps between the artifacts, what is visible, and the behavior of people. The gap can come from the assumptions, cultural assumptions that are driving the behavior of people. Uh, by identifying this gap, you can go further and understand why this gap is there, and the gap can be rooted in the culture, the assumptions that people use to have their beliefs, their identity, how they see themselves, how they see their organizations, and so on. And all this analysis of these capabilities through these three perspectives will help to identify more
Yeah.
precisely the gaps from all these dimensions. So it's next. There is next.
Yeah, we have a few minutes. Yeah.
So the all this is integrated. The four capabilities are interconnected.
Mhm.
Sense making and vision, the capacity of inventing, relating, all these are integrated, and the perspectives help to have a holistic approach that is necessary for strategic approach, for readiness, because we are going for
I'll stop
strategic
screen share.
transformation.
Okay. Yeah. Fantastic. Sir, one question. Is this, whatever you explained, the organizational alignment, is it applicable only for government sector or it can be applied for all other private sectors also?
No, it's not. It's not specific. Like balanced scorecard. Balanced scorecard is not specific for a sector or public or private. It's a framework, and the way you use it, it's adapted. You adapt it to the environment where you are applying it. If it's government, you apply it like for government, private for private, and depending on the sector also, it's the same when you are assessing the readiness of the organization, governmental, private, or it's the same. And all what we have seen here for uh, readiness assessment, these capabilities that are key capabilities and the perspectives through which we have to see them, are leveraging the four perspectives of balanced scorecard
Correct.
because they are preparing the input, but the real input, the right input for the strategic planning. It's
Yeah.
complementarity because you can have a very nice strategy and strategic planning with balanced scorecard and so on. But if you don't care about what is the input, the organization itself, his capabilities, and is an input for the strategic planning and the achievement of the strategy.
Correct.
If you miss this, you miss your strategy,
Correct.
and people go too fast ahead, start planning, start defining strategic and the planning without knowing where they are themselves.
Correct. Fantastic. Excellent, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. Because of time constraints, if there is any questions, we post you offline. Fantastic session. Thank you, Mr. Salahdine. Thank you very much
Okay,
for
Sheikh.
joining all the way in the morning. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So we'll keep you posted. Thank you. Any questions? Ladies and gentlemen, big thank you to Salahdine. Very nice presentation. If any questions, please post. We will connect.